Okay, so this is exercise 8.3 and I'm doing unit 2, which is the Bristol beef stew. And as you see, we have some beef stew. We have some beef in front of me, and then these are the beef like cuts we got from the superstore. So you may see here there's some like remaining fat on the beef. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim the fat out. So here is the one I already finished, and then here's the fat I got rid of this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just peel this one out, and that's it. I mean, if there's still a little amount of I think that is not fat, but the white stuff sitting on the beef, that is okay. You're not gonna really get it clean, because then you're gonna waste a lot of beef. Okay, a little bit. So yeah, that's it for the trimming off the fat from the beef, and then we will process this beef into the pressure cooker. Okay, so now we will make the beef stew. So first we will put around 2 tablespoons of canola oil into the pressure cooker. And again, you see today we are using the pressure cooker to cook the beef. The pressure cooker is actually allow the cooking time to be much more shorter than the regular cooker, so which is good. But then again, you have to be very careful when using your pressure cooker at home. So make sure the lid are clean, and then check everything before you use. So now the canola oil are in the pressure cooker. I just give it some time to warm up, and then we will stir the beef and the onion in. And also the onion together with the beef, and then we just stir fry it until the onion gets soft and the beef color turns to brown. As you can see, there's some beef already started changing the color, this little piece in here. And we just need to be patient and then sit for more time until all the beef, until you don't see any red color on the beef. So now, after several minutes cooking, the beef are turning brown and the onion are soft. There's some liquid coming out of the beef and onion, as you can see here. So then we can put the remaining of the ingredient into this recipe. I mean, except for the flour and butter. We'll just bring the heat down a little bit so you can see there's not going to be too much steamer coming out. So that is the chopped carrot. Just put it in. And the potatoes. And some salt and pepper to taste. Here is a teaspoon, but it doesn't really necessarily have to be. I mean, if you don't like too much salt in your beef stew, then maybe just put less. And also don't forget, I mean, you have the beef broth, so that also gonna give you kind of a salty flavor. So I'm not gonna really put too much salt in here. And then you have some peppers. You can sprinkle peppers, the amount of pepper you want in your beef stew. I mean, I love peppers, so I can also just put more. And the beef broth. So here I know usually we get the canned beef broth, but today we don't have them. But luckily we have something a solid beef broth, as you see in the bottom part. So I just add 2 cups of water in here, and then later it will melt in the pressure cooker. So again, I forgot to mention before, we're cutting this recipe into half. So that's why I'm only put 2 cups of beef broth instead of 4. So I will just pour it in. Okay, doesn't want to go in yet. Come on. Okay, here we go. So it will look like that right now, and then I will just stir it a little bit until they melt. You can already see the shape, they cannot hold the shape in the warm water. So just give it another couple more push. It's getting smaller and smaller. Tiny, small here, so I'm not gonna really bother with that. I will just like stir all the ingredients together. And make sure the potatoes are like soaked in the beef broth, so then later when we like close the lid of the pressure cooker, it can get cooked well. And the carrots, I'm just trying to separate them. So now I think it's good, and then we will just put the lid on and then let them to cook in here. Yes, here we go. And then do not forget to put the veg on. So here we go. So we will wait until the liquid boil in the pressure cooker, and then we will also, actually I have to put the high heat in here, and then we will wait for a couple minutes until the beef broth, beef stew begin to boil in the pressure cooker. Then we will immediately lower the heat to medium and then let them to cook for another 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, so now it's after around like 20 to 25 minutes cooking in the pressure, and then I also let them to sit on the stove top for around another 20 minutes just to get the pressure out of the pressure cooker. So now you can see like it's, I can just easily take out of the lid without any extra noise from the pressure cooker. That means it's done. So we will carefully open that. And we have some liquid coming out. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna scoop the beef, carrots, potato into like a bowl or something to carry them, and then we will cook the remaining juice for that. Okay, so now we already moved all the beef, carrots, and potato into the bowl, and then here is the remaining broth, sitting in the pressure cooker. So then we put them, we push the pressure cooker without the lid back to the stove top, and then we open the heat to high and let the broth to boil again. And meanwhile, don't forget we have two ingredients, which is butter and flour in our recipe. So now we're gonna use these two ingredients. So we will melt the butter in a saucepan. So the butter is nicely melted, and then we will stir the flour in. Just keep stirring them until they form a quite thick texture. So this is just acting as a thickening agent in the broth later. I mean, it is a similar way as you adding starch into a broth. So now it's all thick. So as you can see here, the beef broth is already starting to boil again, and we will just put the one we just made into the beef broth and stir them really well. So I will lower down the heat a little bit so there's not gonna be too much steamer coming out. Okay, so now the new beef broth is ready. As you can see, the texture is became a little bit thickening than thicker than before, and the color turns to milky brown. So what we're gonna do now is we are just gonna pour the beef broth back to the beefs and the carrots, potatoes we took out before. So there we go. We have a nice beef stew to serve with.
This is exercise 8.2, unit 3, the baked sole. So the first thing we're going to do is make a pesto sauce. So we have some jarred pesto. We'll add that to the bowl. I'm going to add lemon juice. And also some hot sauce. little goes a long way with that hot sauce. Okay, and that's our easy pesto sauce. This is going to go really quick. The next thing I'm going to do is I have a couple of pieces of sole fish that I have thawed in the refrigerator. And then I'm just going to place them directly on aluminum foil. And we're going to cover each with some of this pesto sauce we made. Also going to sprinkle some salt and pepper. Okay, and then we are going to add some vegetables that we have ready. So we have some green onion, some tomatoes are going to go in here. And then we're going to top this with our sliced zucchini. Okay, and then we're going to fold these into a packet. So, you want to make sure that all the liquid kind of stays contained. And gently fold this over. And then fold the ends under. And then put it on a baking sheet, just to make sure we collect any juices that might form. Those ends under, place it on our dish, and then we're going to put this in the preheated oven at 375 for about 20 to 25 minutes. Hopefully when the fish is finished, we will check for the opaqueness of the fish. If it's opaque, that means it's cooked. If it's translucent, that means it needs more time and it's not cooked through. So we'll place it in the oven and check it in about 20 minutes. I'm ready to take the fish out of the oven. It all sizzling inside the packet. I'm carefully going to check if it's finished, but this is quite hot, so I'm going to be careful. And the way to check fish, okay, you can take a look inside and see that the zucchini is looking pretty soft. The way to check if fish is finished is to just try to flake it a little bit, and if you can see in the center that the flesh has become opaque. It's a little hard to tell because of this pesto here. So if I brush that away, I actually feel like this could use another minute a minute or two in the oven, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. So I'm going to wrap it up again and leave it. And this method of cooking is a dry heat method by baking it. But the fish is already a pretty tender protein, so that works well. Okay, I'm going to check on the fish again. So just gently open up this foil. I've grabbed a clean fork because the other one I flaked it with a fish that wasn't quite cooked through. So if you can see here, it's now opaque and the fish is ready to serve.